are back. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, with the always lovely and talented Andrea Kay, the always incredible Urban Miaris, and we have our first in-studio guest with us today. We have Brian Enge from SKLZ. So welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Tell us a little bit about SKLZ. What do you do?
We're a sport training company. So essentially what we do is we help athletes get ready to be the best that they can be when they step on the field in their chosen sport.
Okay. So, and what kind of age bracket? Who do you work with? Who are the athletes that you like to work with?
Yeah, our target market is really 12 to 18, but we work with everything from 5-year-olds who are just learning how to hit a baseball for the first time to Jason Verrett, who's one of our own here at the Chargers.
Right. So interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, the world-class athletes today are getting younger and younger.
Yeah. Hey, Urban, you have nothing to talk about. I was driving Urban over here today, and we were talking about his own personal sports. Urban was out bowling yesterday, of all things. Okay.
Is
bowling a sport?
They don't. Well, you know what? If you're Urban, okay, any of that, I could not imagine bowling blind. Okay.
Yeah.
Put it that way. So
Urban does lots of things blind that most people can imagine doing.
that's true.
Well, it's the idea
His
when
whole life is a sports.
Well, when I bowl blind, I'm the scorekeeper, so
So he always wins. That's
Yeah.
good. That's one way to do it.
Now, you say you work with these athletes. How so? In what capacity? How do you help them train?
We make products that basically do two things. If you think about any athlete and you think about them being successful in their sport, there are two things they need to do. They need to be able to master the skill, right? So if I'm a baseball player, one of the skills I have to master is the ability to hit a ball, hit a fastball from a short distance. But they also need to be able to get their body strong for that sport. So an athlete who plays baseball has to have different strength, rotational capabilities, different areas of flexibility than a football player does, who needs the explosiveness, vertical leap, other things that are really.
You have an awful lot of physiology going on. A lot of research going on before you come up with any of the training systems.
That's right, and we actually have what we call our lab right in our facility in Carlsbad. So we partner with a group called Exos, and Exos is the worldwide leader in training elite athletes. So these guys train more elite athletes than any company around the
Great.
world. And they have a facility inside of our building. So we get to watch great athletes like Melvin Gordon, Jason Verrett, Alex Morgan, others train inside of our facility with our products. And so every product that we create is developed by watching the athletes and listening to the coaches of what each of the athletes needs.
Wow.
Interesting. And one of the points we talked about back before the show was this is not a fly-by-night business. You've got 44 patents on the market already. So how did you come about that?
Yeah, we have 44 patents that we've just actually created in the last 2 years. So we have a lot more in our 12-year history. We have a lot more than that. We have a group of experts inside of our building as well as partners like Exo. So 80% of the people that work at SKLZ played high school sports.
Wow.
40% of the people that work at SKLZ played college sports, and 10% played professionally. So we are truly athletes making product for athletes. And so in every sport, we have experts. So in baseball, for example, the guy that runs our baseball business was 6 years with the Cubs.
Wow.
The guy that runs our soccer business is a 13-year professional soccer career. So we are truly athletes who understand what a kid or what a professional needs to get better and what coaches really need to help the athletes get better. So that is really where the innovation comes from.
Interesting.
Now, what sport did you play?
I played soccer. I was the captain at Harvard, and I played professionally in the U.S. Back in the dark days of American soccer.
What do you mean the dark days of American soccer?
So today we've got a renaissance of soccer in America. Soccer's growing like crazy. We've got a really great professional league where athletes are actually able to make a living and do really well. Before that, in the 80s, we had the NASL, which was also a good time for players to make a living and play soccer. Between that time, there was basically fledgling soccer leagues where players were able to make very little money but chase a passion. And I graduated from college in 1992, and that was the situation we were in.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, and I remember when back in the day when Ron Newman was one of my clients years ago.
Who?
Ron Newman, former coach of the Sockers.
Oh, I've heard of San Diego Soccer.
Yeah,
well, I'm not from here originally.
Yeah,
we don't
true.
have soccer teams in New
he's
Orleans.
reputed to be the best soccer coach in the world.
Wow.
So, Ron Newman was a legend. And in fact, I still have a letter in one of my drawers from Ron just saying, please come play with the Sockers right after I retired. And I think he won more than 10 championships in a row here for the Sockers. And the Sockers are actually back. So the Sockers
are they
back.
really?
They've got a phenomenal team. They play now at the sports arena again. They get a great crowd, and they've got a lot of very good players.
Well, I do know that soccer is becoming so much more popular that people are telling me, look, we know you're an NFL fanatic, but you really got to get on board with the real football, and that is the soccer. And everybody that I know really got behind the women's soccer team recently with their phenomenal victory. So I'm really seeing a surge in the love that Americans are giving soccer. That's got to be exciting to you.
Yeah, the Americans love, especially the women's team. And we two of the athletes on the women's team, Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan, are team captains of ours, and we work really closely with them.
Great.
And they seem to have just captured the spirit and the energy of the U.S. population.
You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but just a 1, 2, or even 3% improvement on your physical well-being or the equipment you use is the difference between being a participant and being on the podium winning an award.
Yeah.
It is that close.
How do you measure the success of your systems?
It's a great question. We're working really closely with potential digital products that allow us to truly measure. Today, we measure it in the athlete's success. There are certain ways that you can specifically measure, like a 40-yard dash. So athletes will train with our products to get more explosive, and then they'll go out and try a 40-yard dash, and they'll try it again. You'll see the difference between a 4.5 and a 4.4. Vertical leap is another idea, right? And so we have products that help athletes with their vertical jump, and you can test that specifically. But really the way we test it is in the player's confidence. And it's the players coming back, and it's parents telling us stories about a kid who wasn't able to hit a ball, and had, parents have that moment in Little League, and anybody who's had a kid play Little League where your kid's walking up to bat and you just want for them so badly to be successful, and you want for them to have confidence. And when you watch a kid go from not being confident, not being successful, to being confident and successful, it can literally change a kid's complete outlook on everything.
Absolutely.
Their family, their school, their life. And that's how we really measure success with our athletes.
That's awesome.
Interesting. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD or email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with Andrea Kay, Urban Miaris, and our guest is Brian Enge from SKLZ up in Carlsbad. So tell me how we can find your products. How do you distribute?
We distribute all over, so we're in every major sporting goods store in the U.S. So anytime you go into Sports Chalet, Sports Authority, Dick's Sporting Goods, you'll find SKLZ product. We also, of course, sell on skills.com, which is really the best way for us to present our overall brand. Any place you buy sporting goods around the U.S. and around the world, you'll find our brand.
Great. And you're in throughout the United States. I think you said you're in, 22 countries as well? Yeah,
we're in 22 countries. Our focus outside of the U.S. is really on Canada, it's easy because it's so close to the U.S., and then Europe and Asia. So we do a large business, Germany, France, UK, and then Japan and China.
How do the athletes find you? Is it through school programs in terms of the younger kids, or and through the organizations if they're professional? How do they come to you?
It's a great question. We try and be out in the community as much as possible and connecting directly with athletes and parents and coaches as much as we can be, so that we're exposing these opportunities to kids. I mean, we really believe that we're helping kids train smarter and harder at the same time, and that's a big benefit. So we try and reach out to them as much as we possibly can through local tournaments. For example, we were out at 2 or 3 different soccer tournaments in San Diego County just this last weekend, trying to get in front of parents and kids.
Awesome.
Interesting. I love it. How can we help you get out into the public more? How can we help connect you?
I think anytime that there are athletes that want to get better that we can connect with and you can help us connect with, that's the key. And we are truly driven by the desire to help these kids and help these athletes be the best they can be. So anytime there's an athletic event, anytime there's a community event, anytime there's a group of athletes that are underserved or need this type of product, we'd love to be connected with them so we can help.
Yeah. Does your training ever involve, or does it involve the avoidance of injury? Because I know that the rules are constantly changing in the NFL as a way to avoid injuries, and we've got a lot of people that aren't even allowing their kids. Like my friend, her son's going into high school. She wouldn't let him play football anymore because of fear of injury and concussions. What of your training involves the avoidance of injuries?
We spend a lot of time on injury prevention because you can only reach your goals if you're healthy. So we have a whole line of product that we call our warm-up and recovery product that is specifically focused on making sure that your body is strong and healthy for your sport. Everything from mini bands that really help create a strong pillar to a massage bar that helps roll out your muscles and make sure that they're loose and ready for the next day's practice, especially with the evolution of kids becoming much more focused on a single sport earlier in their career. Mm-hmm. There's a greater need to keep these kids healthy and to focus on warm-up and recovery.
Great.
Are there any sports you don't handle, or is there a specialty you do handle?
So on the side of mastering the skill, we really focus on baseball, football, soccer, basketball, and golf. And on the getting your body strong side of things, which we call our performance line, that really can span across every sport. So a downhill skier, for example, Urban, or a basketball player or a hockey player, we can all use those products to make themselves stronger and healthier.
See, Andrew, that includes bowling.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Did I miss it? Did he say bowling? I noticed you didn't mention tennis, which was my game at one point.
Tennis is a great sport, and we love helping tennis players, especially when it comes to getting their body strong for their sport. And there are a lot of things we do. Exos works with quite a few top tennis players around the world, and so our products are used with them. We don't make a lot of product to help tennis players master their sport today, only because we want to be great at the sports that we focus on first and foremost.
All right. Well, let me know also when you get into water skiing, because that was my second sport.
Yeah.
So what about you, Barry? What do you need help with in your training?
I need help with...
You were no help to Urban on the sailing, so we know you're not, and you won't go golf.
What do you mean I wasn't any help?
Well, that's what Urban reported back.
The boat didn't flip over.
That's right. Did anybody else do any ballast work any better?
I don't know. Urban will have to answer.
Yeah, that's the big joke in sailing. It's that you don't have to be in shape to be a good sailor.
Well, I think that comes
Which is not true, though.
I think that comes from one of the greatest sailors on the planet.
Well, let's not bring it up because he'll shoot me if I ever say that again.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, hey, we are running short on time. Tell our listeners how they find out more information about you.
Skills.com is the best place to learn about our brand.
Okay. Well, from the look of it, we better spell that for them.
Yes.
Thank you. It's SKLZ.com. We took out the I.
Okay, great. That's because there's no I in team, right?
That's exactly right.
Oh, you're so smart, Boss Daddy. Awesome.
Okay, well, I encourage all our listeners to go to skills.com, SKLZ. And Brian, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Great. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Taking care of business and working overtime. What else?